Hello and welcome. Welcome back. We are on episode 14. I should have checked. I don't even know what episode we on right now. I think it's 14. I think we're at 14 episodes. And shout out to anybody that's been listening up to this point. Appreciate everybody's support and all of that. If you don't know, we're in here talking to brilliant beat makers and producers and people who do cool shit. And we have a brilliant beat maker with us today, producer, a cataloger or a collector, I should say. Just a real appreciator and somebody who really puts forward for the beat community. We got Georgia's own Inspectah K in the building. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm blessed to be on here.
We're blessed to have you, man. Thank you for stopping by.
Once again, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, for sure. It's funny. I found out about you a while back through. We were just talking about this the other YouTube thing. Like you just kind of were documenting other people's stuff, or just like had some playlists with like Ola Segun and just like some people like that. And I was like, oh, this is fire. And then I realized that you made beats also, and I was like, oh, this is fire. You know what I mean? So just kind of digging through your catalog a bit and just thinking, who better to talk to? You clearly know what you're doing with this shit. And so I wanted to pick your brain a little bit about, your process and what you do.
Right, right. I appreciate you checking the channel out, by the way. That's been like a little, I guess, side project of mine for a while now, because I don't know, man. I just like archiving stuff, and I also like, I just like putting shit, I guess, putting people onto shit that I like, on like a larger scale.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's really. So when did you start doing that? Like when did you start with the archives and things like that?
Like 2021, literally the day I made the channel was when I started doing that, because that was when I started, because I have like a big, like Mad Lib and Dilla collection, so I kind of just wanted to put that out there.
Mm.
And then it just kind of evolved into me, I guess uploading just, I don't know, beats that I like. Sometimes, I'd upload, I guess, a jazz track here and there. I uploaded like a Piero Miliani track not too long ago, but
Hell yeah.
it's mainly, I guess, primarily focused on the beats, I guess.
Word. It's cool because speaking of Madlib, he's somebody who's like a DJ as well, who like all of his releases aren't his own music. He'll play other stuff, and I think that that's really fascinating when people are willing to do that and just use their platform to be like, nah, I want to like show you some other shit that I'm inspired by. You know what I mean? Um,
hmm
has anybody reached out to you, like anybody that you've posted and been like, thanks for posting this or take this down or anything like that?
I mean, knowledge.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice, nice.
nah, yeah, nah,
He wasn't
cause
feeling it.
fucking, what's it called? I was gonna say knowledge. Cause I uploaded like some instrumentals, like some of the No Worries beats, cause I don't know why, but for some reason they weren't like widely available, so I kind of just wanted to upload them. My channel was never monetized, so I've never seen like a single dime from that channel, cause
Right.
sometimes some beats have like copyrighted samples, but it's whatever. But yeah, no. I wake up one day, I check my email, and I find out that I got like two strikes on my channel, so I just
Oh
like
shit.
deleted all that shit as fast as I could.
Yeah, he don't play about that shit.
Yeah.
Well, I guess shout out to knowledge. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know how I feel about it because, we're all making sample based music. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
But I kind of understand it from his point. It's like, yo, this is my shit, and I don't know. People seem to get into it with him a lot about that. But I kind of see both sides of it. How do you feel about it? Like, do you feel like that's justified?
I mean, the way I see it is that, if it's like monetized shit, I understand that. But the thing is, he was also taking down like type beats and stuff and like uploads from like what, 15 years ago when he
Mm.
was doing shit and like when he was still like up and coming and stuff, and he took down some like classic edits too as well. So that kind of like hurt a little, but at the same time, like I do understand it from like a certain lens. It's just that the way he went about it was kind of bad.
Yeah, and then for him to have been like upset that Meek didn't want him remixing this shit, it's like, all right, bro. Well, you're doing the same thing to people, and no disrespect to knowledge. I mean, we all love knowledge.
Yeah,
But it's a very interesting case when like someone who makes sample based music ends up being so anti people like using your shit. And plus, it ends up looking crazy because like you can't fight the internet. You can't take every single thing down. You know what I mean? Unless you're Jay-Z.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, or the internet, there's that classic saying of like, if you put shit up on the internet, it stays forever. Obviously, it doesn't apply to everything,
Right.
but to a lot of shit, especially when it comes to music, I noticed that it tends to apply more.
Yeah, yeah, that shit is there forever. You can think it's gone. Somebody's gonna find it. Somebody's got it in the vault, and they're just waiting to drop it. Excuse me, like I feel like it's an uphill battle that you're never gonna win. But either way,
Hmm.
I appreciate you archiving some of this music because I was hearing stuff. I heard like an Overcast beat and like I said the Ola stuff. I was like, man, this shit is crazy. Like maybe had you not put it in this space, I wouldn't have found it. So thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. And shout out to all of like the people that I archive, because at the end of the day, that's their art. I fuck with their art at the end of the day. I just want it to be more, I guess, easily accessible for the people, because at the end of the day, I am a people's person.
Yeah. And also, to that point, like I feel like people should be able to understand when someone is coming at this from a place of respect and appreciation as opposed to just trying to vulture off of it or something like that. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
a,
Yeah.
a brief look at your page and at what you do, if you like follow a couple links and see what you actually do, it's like, oh no, this person is an appreciator of this shit. This isn't like, it's not like some kind of get rich quick scheme. Like you said, you're not even monetizing it. So I don't know. Knowledge, if
Right.
you're listening to this, man, think about that shit and reconsider it perhaps.
No, right.
You know what I mean? Respectfully. Um, so yeah, you're saying, man, you're from Georgia, spent some time in different parts of Georgia. You said
Right.
Buckhead, Duluth, Atlanta, all over the place. But when I listen to your beats and stuff like that, I don't immediately assume Atlanta, and maybe I'm ignorant for that. Is there like a big scene of people doing that sort of thing where you're at?
Oh yeah, most definitely. There's like this because I know Stolen Drums. He's from Georgia, so that's like
Word.
one of the bigger names, I guess,
Shout out Stolen
within
Drum.
like I guess the sound. But there's like a couple open ox events and shit that because Stolen Drums has his own shit. There's this
Mm,
one open ox event that I go to sometimes. It's called Oxygen ATO. Some other like big names like oh yeah, Hajino. Hajino's a big one
word.
for sure. Yeah, Hajino. There's a few other people that you might not know of. My homie Kairu, he's a big one.
Mm.
And there's also yeah, there's a lot of other people, man. Like if I were to just like, list names, we'd be here for I don't know how long, but
Good.
point is like there is like a big community of people that just, pop out and just I guess make fire.
Yeah.
That's all I can really put it.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I mean, like I said, it's fucked up because I've never been to Atlanta. I've been to like most major American cities, and I still have never been to Atlanta, and I really want to go. But
Yeah,
that's like
yeah,
part
no,
of. Go ahead.
it's cool here. My bad to cut you off, but it is cool here, but you know, every spot has its downsides. But when you like, when you find like, I guess when you find your people, because
Mm,
I'll be honest, like I didn't know Atlanta had like a big scene for a while. Like I knew like Stolen Drums and Hajino, but I didn't know that they were from like here for so long.
mm.
And it kind of just gave me like a bigger, I guess, sense of community, knowing that there's people doing similar shit to me, and like you know, only they're only like a few miles away.
Right. Yeah, no, that's really important. And then, so you have like a collective as well, right? Are those all local people, or is that like a more of an internet collaboration?
It's more of an internet thing. You're talking about Darima, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, it's more of an internet thing. So basically the three other people that are in the collective, it's RIT, Landmau, and MO4. I
Mm.
met all of them like through the internet at like different times with Landmau. I met him back in like 2021 through this one Discord server. It's called like Underground Cooks. I met a shit ton of other people through there, but Advanced.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, no, I met him back in 2020 through that server.
Yo, he is nice.
Yeah, no, he's dope as fuck. He came a long way too. Shout out to him.
Shout out Advance, man. He blew my mind. We did a show down at Graffiti Pier in South Philly one time,
Yeah,
and that fool
I
pulled. He
yeah,
went
no, I
crazy.
interviewed him one time actually. He told me about that.
He went fucking crazy. I was like, my mind was blown, yo. Like I've seen a lot of dope beat sets and shit. That one was crazy. Like he got his
Yeah, no,
sound with that, and and it's fire because he was like, "Yo, man, I'm like rapping now. Like I really, really want to hear. I want to like rap. Put me on a bill of rapping, and I still do need to do that because he's fire at whatever he does. But
yeah,
man,
no, he's like a triple threat because he raps, he produces, he used to draw. I know he kind of like put drawing to the side, but I remember when he was like drawing consistently, it was crazy.
shout out Advance
Facts.
for sure.
But yeah,
That's what's up,
back to
man. Yeah, I spent some time today, like listening to your Bandcamp. I think that it was the most recent or one of the more recent releases was Sufi Tech Alchemy. Is that
yeah,
just you? Is that a pseudonym?
it was the speed run tape, right?
I believe so. Yes. Yeah. What's
Okay, yeah.
what's the is that like a pseudonym or is that like a group project or what's that about?
It's just a pseudonym I came up with for fun. That's like my main Instagram handle now, because I have two Instagram accounts. One of them is my old one. It's just Inspectah_K. I deactivated it, and then I wasn't on Instagram for a while, and then I came back recently, and I was like, "Yo, I need a cool handle name," and I just came up with that.
Well, that's good to know. I was looking for you on the gram earlier today. I couldn't find you, so I'm gonna follow you.
But thank you, man.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And then also, as I was just kind of looking through the catalog, I really was running back the remixes, like the most recent joint. What is it? The K Mixes 5. There's some like crazy, crazy shit on there. Are you? How are you doing your remixes? Are you doing all that shit on the 404?
Yeah, so basically my workflow with the remixes is for that tape in particular, because all those beats are like 404 beats. But basically, how I would do it was I would just make the beat first. I'd make like a loop, and then I would fucking what's it called? I would basically just fucking um I guess do like live mutes and stuff while the acapella was playing. Because usually I would load up the acapella in like a separate DAW like FL, and then I would just play the I'd play it live over the beat while it was recording into Audacity, and then I would just drag and drop the beat into FL, line it up with the acapella properly, and then run it through the SP one more time, and then that was it.
Damn, that's what's up. And so you're using FL 404 and Audacity.
Yeah, there's actually more to it than that because I've kind of been all over the place when it comes to like my equipment and stuff. I won't lie.
In what way?
So back when I started, like for real, this is like 20, I want to say 2018. I started out on FL Mobile, so I started out on mobile DAWs, and before that, I was on GarageBand Mobile actually, and then I started using the FL demo in like 2020, and then I was using that for like a hot ass minute, and then I learned Koala as well,
Mm.
and then I it got to the point where I got my first 404 in like or like my first working 404 in like 2024 when I turned 18.
Wow.
Yeah, so it
Wait,
was
you
an
turned
SS.
18 in
I love that shit.
2024?
And then, oh yeah, you were saying something?
You turned 18 in 2024?
Yeah, I'm 19 right now.
That's crazy, man. Shout out to you, bro. You know?
Thank
Like, I'm sorry, I
thank
didn't
you,
mean to
man.
cut you off, but that kind of threw me for a loop because I didn't know how old you were. So for you to be 19 years old, I think that's fire, bro, because, I'm talking to people from all the generations and shit. I was just talking to DiBiase and Odd Nose Dom. These people started making beats on, like, tape players and shit. You know what I mean? So to start making beats,
Right.
like, on your phone is wild, man. I'm really glad I'm getting all ranges. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You were saying?
No, you're good. Yeah, no, cause yeah, I started my first 404 was an SX that I copped on my 18th birthday, and I it took me like about a month to get the hang of it, or maybe even less.
Mm.
And then after that, I was making beats on FL and stuff, but then it got to the point where I was like, yo, I want to switch to Ableton. So I switched to Ableton.
Hell yeah.
And then I copped a 202, and then I copped a I've copped like multiple OGs because I won't lie, I'm like the fucking master at like breaking 404s and 303s.
Word. And like
Yeah,
rebuilding
no.
them?
Yeah, no. So the first 404 OG I ever got, this was actually before I got the SX. They factory reset the 404, and you know how like when they're when it's like brand new, you're not supposed to turn it off when it's booting up.
Right.
I made the mistake of turning it off,
Shit.
and so it didn't work. And then the second time, the memory card reader, I kind of fucked around because you know how you're not supposed to like take the memory card out when the 404 is on because it's not like hot swappable.
You know what? Somebody told me that, and I've been doing it the whole time. Like I've always done it, and I never had a problem. And somebody was like, "Yo, you know you're not supposed to do that, right?" And I was like, I haven't had a problem with it. I'm sure it's fine." You're saying it gave you a problem?
Yeah, it gave me a problem because then I put the memory card back in and then it just wouldn't like format.
Damn.
Yeah, and
Like
then
different memory cards?
yeah.
You tried like multiple ones?
You know, I tried it out. I even tried the SD card method out because you know how you can put like the SD card in the CF reader?
Right.
Yeah, I tried that method out and it just didn't work.
Damn. So you're telling me you fixed those issues?
No, I didn't fix them. I This is like my third 404.
Oh shit! I thought you meant like you like had an issue, like broke it open, and then like got. You meant like just breaking them. You're not like breaking them and then fixing them.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh
just breaking them. I
shit!
mean, I have broken into them a couple times and I have replaced parts before, but that's only because I have so many spare parts from like breaking the shit constantly.
Damn, man. Because I actually just got a soldering kit and like some equipment and shit. I have some broken 404s and shit around me, so I'm trying to start fixing them. But
Yeah, no, soldering looks so easy. I tried it on my first broken 303, but then I ended up failing.
damn,
Yeah, because what's it called? The first 303 I ever got, I would, some like good RCA cables are like super tight.
yeah,
Yeah, so I was trying to pull the RCA cable out, but then it like flew out of my hand and one of the knobs ended up breaking.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's frustrating because like that's the type of shit that can't happen to Ableton. You know what I mean? It's like a physical device, so it
right.
comes with its own set of problems. But I mean, it is fun. I mean, have you tried cracking that shit back open and like giving it another go?
Yeah, yeah. Of course, I resoldered it, but then like it just ended up like not working properly, so I just kind of put it to the side, and then I copped a second 303, and it looked good, but the seller sold me a 303 with like some shit that was stuck in the RCA out, so I couldn't even record my beats.
Wait, have you tried the fucking super glue method?
Yeah, I tried the super glue method out, and that shit didn't come out. It was jammed in there so tight.
Man, no bullshit. That shit saved me from having to send my shit in to get it fixed because I was pissed off one time I pulled the shit out and the RCA cable like ripped off in there. But
Oh
yeah, you just
man,
cut a Q-tip in half. Try that shit again because that works.
for
For
sure.
anybody listening who, if you have a RCA cable, and it broke off inside of like the port or whatever, just cut a Q-tip in half and put a little bit of crazy glue, like Gorilla Glue or some shit, on the plastic part that you just cut in half, and then you just drop it into the RCA port and just wait for like 5-10 minutes. Just leave it there and forget about it, and then pull it out real slow. And that shit worked for me. Like that, I was so grateful. Whoever told me to do that, thank you. If you're listening right now, thank you. Like that saved my life.
It might save mine too, because if I might try it again, and if it does, like, come out for two 303s, game over.
Come on, yeah, yeah, double 303 method. Well, so do you currently use a double 404 setup?
Nah, because I sold my SX a while back, so right now I have a 404 OG, a 303, and a 202.
And you use them all together at the same time?
Uh, Sometimes, usually I just use the 202 to like pitch shit down, and then I'm more used to. I'll be honest, the 303 is probably like my favorite SP that I've tried out, so I mainly make the shit on there, like as of recent. But the 404, like, whenever I want to, because some of the effects on the 303 they function differently compared to the 404. So if I want like more desirable effects, I guess I just use the 404.
Man, I'm interested to hear you like hear your thoughts on the 303 because I feel like to me anyway, I love the sound of the 303, but it's too I don't have the patience for it. Like excuse me, the pattern sequencer like takes too long and like deleting shit takes too long. But Like, do you? So you say you like use it pretty regularly in your workflow?
Yeah, yeah, I use it pretty regularly, I'd say.
That's what's up, man. Shout out to the SP303. I've been getting so many different SP users on this shit. I don't know if you like. I don't know. I've been getting a lot of 555 users and 404 users, and it's just it's dope, man. I fuck with it.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I'd like to try out the 555 one of these days because it's just like I don't know if I would like go out of my way to buy one, but if I had the opportunity to, use a friend's 555, that'd be amazing.
well, anytime you're in Philly, you can pull up and use this one. I'm trying
All right,
to.
bro. I gotta come to Philly one of these days. I've been to like I travel a lot, so inevitably it's gonna happen.
Gotta happen, man. It's brotherly love over here, man. It's a very good city. Um,
True.
yeah, man. So I was gonna ask you about your 404 workflow a little more because well, two things. I'll start with the first thing. Uh,
Mhm.
I was listening to some shit before and like earlier today, and it just the bass sounded so rich. I was like wondering, do you get a lot of use out of the subsonic on the 404?
I'll be honest, I hardly use Subsonic. I probably only use it like once, never again.
Wow.
Yeah,
Damn,
nah, cause usually whenever I just make a loop, I think to myself, yo, this is super dry, so I just fuck around with like the EQ and the isolator on it. And
hmm
obviously I abuse the fuck out of vinyl sim. So
yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
interesting.
no.
That shit has some like a really rich bass tone to it. Whatever it was I was listening to that made me think to like mention it because I think the subsonic is really useful. I don't use it as much as I'd like to, but I think it's very useful. And I got into an argument with DiBiase about it. Not an argument, but like I was saying how I think the subsonic is better than like the new 404 like bass generator, and he was like, "Bro, you're crazy."
I'll be honest, cause I'm not the biggest. I mean, the Mark II is cool, but I'm not like the biggest fan of using it personally, just because I'm so used to like the simpler workflow of the like the OG and the SX.
Yeah,
So I could definitely see that take.
like the newer joint is it's not really menu divey, but it feels like it is. Like there's too much shit going on. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I really do love it. I use it all the time. But yeah, something about like that other workflow, it's all just like hitting buttons and like listening to shit. It's not like going into any menus. I don't know. Something about the menus just throws me off.
Yeah, no, because it's like there's so much shit to do in there that it just feels overwhelming, and it doesn't help the fact that the buttons just feel like shit, in my opinion.
Yeah, compared to the older joints, absolutely.
Yeah, cause I mean, don't get me wrong, like the OG, like the buttons on those, like they're not that good. I'll be honest, but it's just like I'd much rather like I prefer those over the Mark II, in all honesty.
Shit, even 303. I think it's just because they raise up a little further or something. Yeah,
Yeah, no, because the 404 OZ buttons, like they feel more clicky, but the 303 ones, like they, it's like the median amount. Because with the Mark II, it just feels shallow.
yeah. It's like a real, and I don't know if they've. I'm wondering if they've made fat pads for it because the older 404s are a little more customizable. So I'm wondering if these joints, if they have or if they have any on the way, like some fatter pads you could like replace this shit with.
Right. Yeah, no, the fat pads are cool too. I tried them out on like the OG one time. They were nice, but like I don't know, man. I'm just so used to like the stock pads. But if they do make fat pads for the Mark II, that'd be really cool because they desperately need them.
Yeah, I would say so. Oh wait, you know what? Shit, hold on. Give me 1 second, bro. I'm gonna cut this part out. I gotta run over here for 1 second and grab a cup of water. Hold up.
But that
My bad. I'm back. Yeah,
good
see,
stuff.
I'm not the man. I'm trying to get better at this interviewing people shit, but I'm just shooting from the hip right now.
Yeah, no, I get that. It was kind of shaky for me at first, but it's just like if you have, I guess, I don't even know. If you have like a template in mind that you could just go off of, I think that really helps.
I think so too, man. What was so I didn't listen to all the interview stuff that you were doing. But I definitely peeped it and I wanted to listen. I just didn't have time today. But like who were you interviewing and like were you doing something similar? Were you like talking about beatmaker stuff?
Yeah, no, basically, I was interviewing people like Duro. You know, he's worked with Feek and Lungs and stuff.
Yep,
That's
for
like the
sure.
first dude I ever interviewed. He basically what I would just talk about in like those interviews was I'd basically just like, ask them like, yo, ask them about themselves, like their interests and shit, basic stuff, and then it would just dive into like us talking about music and shit and like whatever music was on the way.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's what's
Yeah,
up,
nah.
man.
It's kind of like my bad to cut you off, but it's kind of like what you're doing right now.
Yeah, I love that. And speaking of things that you got coming up, what do you got coming up, man? What are you working on right now?
Man, I'll be honest, the school's been kicking my ass.
That's good.
Yeah, nah, like I mean, I've been working on like a split tape with like a couple of my friends, but I don't think it's gonna come out until like another month. So I've just been kind of taking shit slow as of right now with music. But if I had the choice, I would be pumping shit out left and right every single day.
Yep. I know the feeling.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. That's what's up. Before I get too far away from the topic of the SP404 specifically, excuse me, I wanted to say like I noticed there's just so much swing in what you do. Like a lot of your beats just have a lot of swing and like a lot of feel to them. And I'm wondering like are you when it comes to your drums and stuff like that, are you like resampling? Are you using the pattern sequencer? Like how are you getting some of that swing out of these beats
Pattern sequencer, most definitely.
all day?
Yeah, because I mean, I do resample sometimes. I've grown comfortable with resampling on like the 303 and stuff, just because like I think the resample just works better on the 303. But when it comes to like the 404 and just generally speaking, I like the pattern sequencer.
I feel that. Yeah, because when I was talking to Hooks Arthur, I was surprised because he was like, "Yeah, everything resample." It's like, man, like that's fire too. You know what I mean? It's funny that people just it's like picking a side at the fork in the road, like where you know what I mean? Like the 404
Right, right.
is so
Because
funny like that.
I've just met so many people that are like anti pattern sequencer, and I'm like, yo, it's not even that bad.
They're scared,
Exactly.
and like I was that way for a while, but like by the time I decided to sit down and figure it out, it did not take long to figure it out. You
Yeah,
know?
because it has like the good thing about the pattern sequencer and like all the SPs is that it's like loop back, so you could just like you know if you fucked up, just delete the shit.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
and like you can play as you go, you can delete as you go. Like I don't know, and you can get good ghost notes that way. Like that's what really made me start leaning towards the pattern sequencer more than the resample is just the ability to get some of those ghost notes in like dialed in perfectly. Um,
right.
but yeah, that's like
Is
that's the swing.
is that and like you can make so much more like complex shit with it. Like you could put, if you want to make something like I don't know, Swami, and you want to just put some crazy like percussion in, then you could just do that. You could just like go crazy with it. But if you want to do like something more, I guess I don't even know how to describe it, like more free form, like early surf project stuff, then you could definitely do something like that on the pattern sequencer. I mean, don't
Mm-hmm.
get me wrong, you could probably do it on resample, but I think with the pattern sequencer, it's just more if you're like super meticulous about shit, like how I am, it works out.
Yeah, nah, for sure. Um, so you've used pretty much every SP, and then you said Ableton and FL and Audacity. Do you have any like MPC experience, or like do you have an MPC?
I wish, man.
Got to get
I
one.
really, yeah, I do. The because obviously, I feel like everybody's listened to Dilla at least like once or twice. I'm a big Dilla head, and
Hell
just
yeah,
hearing like the quality of the drums that would come out of the MP, it was really inspirational.
I agree. And I think every MPC user that makes rap beats has to have Dilla somewhere in their mind when they're like making a beat on an MPC. Like that's just, I don't know. I feel like that's just kind of the gold standard.
100%. Not even the gold standard. I think that's like Fuck. What's better than gold? Like platinum?
Platinum, yeah, that's the platinum standard right there. Like that's the
What's
diamond
that?
fucking standard. Like,
Diamond standard. Yeah,
you
diamond.
know, somebody tried to tell me recently like that Dilla was overrated or something to that effect, and I was just
What?
like, I don't know. I almost like it's like I don't know, man. I don't know. I think people are just too far removed from things or from the important, or like they don't have any idea about the technicality of what goes into shit. I don't know. I don't know what can make. It's like saying Miles Davis is overrated. It's like, all right, bro, you got it.
Oh,
You know,
yeah. Facts, bro.
like I gotta just let people live with that sort of an opinion. I can't even argue with you because what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Because I remember a wise dude once told me that whenever you argue with a stupid person, they just continuously say stupid shit until you inevitably stoop down to their level, and then they end up winning the argument.
Yup.
So you can't entertain yourself with like shitty rage bait like that, because that's all it is.
Yeah. Yep. They're testing your patience. Like they want to, you know what I mean? And I can't. I got other things to do with my energy than to explain to somebody that Jay Dilla is not in fact overrated. But
Right.
you know, that's a whole nother that's a whole fucking other thing. Let me see. I got more questions. What do I got? Oh wait, you know what? I think I got to most of them, but I would like to ask you the questions that I ask everybody, like the lightning round. Where did I got it? Hold up. I got it in my notes app. I have so many notes, it's crazy.
No, I felt that. My shit's unorganized too.
Yeah, my shit's and most of it is like, oh yeah, I was out last night and I had 7 beers and I wrote 4 bars. You know, just like a bunch of random notes
No,
with like a couple bars in
yeah,
them. Um,
yeah, nah.
yeah, but okay, all right, I found it. So, bang. First question: What is the first thing that you ever made a beat on?
FL Studio Mobile or no GarageBand.
Shout out to GarageBand. I'm getting a lot of FL and a lot of GarageBand when I ask that question. Um, and what have you been making beats on lately?
The SP303.
The 303, man. Hell yeah. I got a lot of
Yes,
respect
sir.
for that, man. I'm literally gonna make a 303 beat after this phone call. Um, are there
Oh
any
yeah.
are there any techniques on your beat making device of choice? Let's say the 303 or any of the SPs that you want to share that like people might not know. Just something maybe that it took you a while to figure out, and you're like, yo, if you're a new SP user, maybe you could use this.
Hmm. That's actually a really good question because I feel like a lot of the shit that I do is really straightforward, but the pitch button on like all the SPs is like universally hated, but you could get some cool ass drum sounds out of that.
That's such a good point, yo, and that's exactly what I use it for.
Exactly. Because like the flam snare, that shit is
Yeah,
goaded.
yeah, it sure is, and yeah, that it is universally hated. Like that is one of the things that everybody will say. That's like the one thing that kind of sucks about the SP. Like the pitch is it doesn't work, but it does work as far as making drums sound cool.
Right. And I won't lie, I do use it to pitch samples sometimes, like on the 404, because the thing is, because you know how like the pitch knob, it takes out like a bunch of the high end. You could literally just bring the high end back up if you continuously resample it and like just crank the high end all the way up with like the stock EQ on it.
Wow, I I love how and no matter who I talk to, once we get to this point, like the 34-minute mark or some shit like that, like the jewels start coming out. Like anybody that didn't hear what you just said, that's their problem. Like that's a good bit of SP knowledge right there. Because
Yeah,
I didn't
no,
even think
because when
about
I
that.
when I found that out, because it was really annoying whenever I would, pitch the shit up and it would just come out all grimy. Don't get me wrong, I do like that for a lot of beats, but then I was just like, yo, why don't I just fuck around with the EQ on this? And then I gradually just resampled on it on the 404, and I'm like, yo, it's back. Shit.
Wow. Huh. Damn, dude. Thank you for that.
Of
That's some
course.
good information.
Of course, a little side note for this method, it only works on the 404. On the 303, it like completely cuts the high end out. I've tried it and like it does make it sound more grimy, but at the same time, it's like it brings out some like unpleasant artifacts. Like when you EQ like the high end out of something completely and you try to bring it up after it's done exporting, and it just brings out like certain artifacts that you don't want to hear. It's like
Right.
that.
Yeah, it's like you're bringing out the high end of the low end of the dirt of like, and again, don't get me wrong, it can be cool like if you resample that and maybe make a snare out of it or whatever, make a this like the possibilities are really endless. Like anything to me, I feel like anything that sounds fucked up on a 404 can be repurposed into something that sounds beautiful.
Facts. And speaking of like 404 knowledge, I guess on the OG and like the SX, because you know how like if you go to MFX2, I think the tape delay, and you
Yeah.
like turn all the knobs down except for one, and you could get like a cool pitch bend effect. If you turn it fast enough, you could get like a cool I guess, bro, I don't even know how to say it, like a fast tape stop type of effect, depending on how
Hmm.
you move it.
Damn.
Yeah.
There's
I've
game,
used
man.
it on a bunch of beats before. It's mad cool. Like if I want to do like some, I guess mock record like swipe type of effect, then like I would just go for that.
That's super fire, man. I think all the MFX joints like have a valid use. We everybody loves the vinyl sim and shit. That's cool. But every single one of them joints has a valid use. Like if you really dive into it, like I think people sleep a little bit on the 404 effects.
Right? Because I mean, everybody, like you said, everybody loves Final Sin. Final Sin is arguably like I guess its selling point amongst like people in our community. But if you just take time out of your day to learn everything, because on that topic, I didn't know that the fucking delay button could be used as a looper until I saw that Doc Kim set years ago.
Yo, that Doc Him, yo, shout out to Doc Him. I need to send an email right after this call because I never even hit Doc Him up. I need to talk to him about beats. But yeah, that shit is crazy. That's a
Yeah,
crazy.
no,
He unlocked some shit with that. I don't know how he figured that out. That's crazy.
no, right. Because it's like I use that shit sometimes whenever I want to make like, you know, I want to put like crazy kicks on my shit. I just continuously click at the button and then everything just falls into place. It's a great method.
It's a great method, and I'm really glad that he got on that interview with the bro whose name escapes me right now, but like really like broke the method down actually. And I'm gonna rewatch that because I want to make some drums like that because that shit is just it's super crazy. And if anybody's listening and doesn't know what we're talking about, it's the Doc Kim Boiler Room set from like over a decade ago, and it's
Yeah,
some of the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life.
I think um I think James Matthew was at that set. If you know who that is.
I don't.
Okay, yeah, no, James Matthew. He's like this one. Do you know about SLF tapes by chance?
No, I mean you tapped in,
Okay,
bro. I don't know nothing.
okay, yeah, no. So basically, it's like this like label thing that was like big in like the SP forums and stuff. So there's people like Sensei. Oh yeah, Cult was involved with it. I think
Word.
CULP. Um, yeah, there's people like Sensei himself, Tuxedo Common, and like a few other people. It's some good shit. James Matthew was one of the people who had a couple drops on that label, and he was at that set, if I'm not mistaken.
Damn. Yeah,
Yeah,
man. It's interesting. Like the 6 degrees of separation in this beat world is very, very. It might be 4 or 5 degrees because everybody seems to just know everybody, and I love that.
right.
We got a good community thing going on here, and um, and that leads me to my last. Excuse me.
I actually had one more tip. My
No, go
bad.
crazy, bro. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. So, because we were talking about the delay looper
Yeah.
earlier, so usually whenever I want to make my drums tighter, because in FL you have like the out button, and you could just turn or like the out knob, and whenever you want to make something tighter, you just turn that up. Obviously, on the SPs you don't have that shit. So what I would do is I would just tap on the drum sound with the delay on.
Mm-hmm.
I would have the feedback all the way up, and it has its tail end. But if you like turn the delay knob or like the was it the third knob? Yeah, the third knob. If you turn that shit down fast enough, then it'll completely like eliminate the tail sound. And the cool thing about the delay is like it makes it sound like grimy.
Hmm.
On the 303, if you do it on the 303, it completely like takes the high end out. But if you do it on the 404, it makes it so like it kind of sounds like the long. Like if you turn the long button on the 303, It
Hell
kind of
yeah.
sounds like that.
Yeah.
And
Whoa.
obviously, like if you keep turning, if you leave it on like the 404, it just keeps on going up and up and up until it starts clipping. So you got to do that shit fast. But on the 303, if you keep on doing that, or no, it does the same thing on the 303, but I think it just sounds more appealing on the 303. I won't lie.
Hmm. Man. Yeah, that's I really appreciate that, bro. I've been sitting here. My 303 has been sitting on the same spot on this table unused for a minute and I feel so bad, but I'm going to make some beats on my 404 and my 303 today.
Oh
Like,
yeah, man.
yeah, this shit is for me, really. I'm glad people can listen to it and enjoy it, but it's really for me. Like, I'm getting a lot of inspiration from all of these people who I'm speaking with, and no exception here. This has been great, man. I really appreciate the information and the knowledge.
Yeah, of course, bro. Once again, thank you for having me. I know I said this a bunch, but still,
Yeah, bro, of course, anytime. Oh, and I got to get to my last question. As far
right?
as beat makers, we need the beat maker, producer, Mount Rushmore to you. The top
Oh
four.
shit. Okay.
You know,
Fuck. Okay, so already I have three names out the way. Madlib, Dilla, and Doom. That's
yeah,
like the undisputed. That's my undisputed big three.
hell yeah, I'm right there
Yeah,
with
that's
you,
my.
man.
Yeah, no, cause, bro, I just wanna I'm gonna talk about the fourth person in a bit, but I just want to say like how much I appreciate them, cause like they really. I found out about Dilla and Madlib when I was like, or no, I found out about all three of them when I was like a young kid. That's the crazy part.
Wow.
Yeah, so because I found out about them by like, going through like internet shit, and then I just ended up stumbling upon their names. I remember the first Dilla beat I ever heard was Last Donut of the Night.
Yeah, what a beat.
And yeah, and the first Madlib joint I ever heard, it was a Quasimodo joint. It was bully shit actually.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I was like, yo, what the fuck is this?
What the
Because I was
fuck
like
is this?
8 or 9 when I found out about them, so it
Wow.
kind of just like blew the fuck out of my mind when I found out that. And yeah, not Doom. Obviously, I found first Doom joint I ever heard was Question Mark.
Wow.
And like besides like the nostalgia factor, all of them just have so many good techniques. Dilla shit, I mean, his is like really well documented, but I feel like with Madlib, because he was really doing a bunch of crazy shit with like the 303 that people like me are doing now. Fuck, because I remember he did the flam snare that I was talking about earlier. He was doing that on Dear God, the second beat off of Dear God by Dudley.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was doing that, and then I think the only other person I heard do that was Sam I Am, because he did that shit on the one Earl joint. Oh fuck, what was it called? It was Mirror. He did that on Mirror.
Yeah. Yeah. Yo, was that a 303 beat for sure?
I think that was it sounded more like a 404 beat because I
404.
remember I saw that one interview that he did in this is crazy to say. He did this shit in fucking Tel Aviv. Yo, free Palestine.
Free
But
Palestine for real.
fuck,
He
yeah,
was in
he
tell. All
it
right,
was
we'll think about that later. Go ahead.
yeah, I know. But no, he did an interview where he was talking about how he initially used the 303, but then he just switched to the 404 completely after a while.
Why the hell was he in Tel Aviv? Never
I
mind.
don't
Never
know.
mind. Never mind. Never mind. I don't even. Never mind.
Yeah,
That's crazy though. Shout out Seb because he's definitely a 404 inspiration.
most
Um,
definitely.
that's crazy. I
Yeah.
didn't know that shit, man. I'm kind of frozen right now. Um,
Yeah, no, it kind of blew my mind in like a bad way when I found that out too. But I mean,
you
but
like,
he made Rap Beats Volume 1.
God damn. All right. Well, you know what? All right. Shit. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, no, you're right though. As far as like the techniques, like I don't like the nostalgia factor is real, but also I maybe I'm just a super fan, but that shit just feels very timeless to me. Like all of the names you said, like I feel like that shit's gonna sound just as great. You know what I mean? Like 10, 15, 20 years from now, like
right.
truly timeless
Cause
music.
the thing with Madlib, like I know I say this a lot in like Twitter replies and shit, but if it weren't for him and like the approach he took with the shit, I don't think any of us would be here right now because he was really like the first person to do like to take like compressed beats to that level.
Yeah, yeah, man.
It's
That
it's
shit,
crazy to think about.
that shit. Like I said, like Madlib probably my top one. So like I might be like too biased to really really say for sure, but I don't think nobody ever did it like that. You know, like
Right, right,
kept that shit super dusty, but like super, like I don't want to say catchy, but like it's it's earworm beats. Like you hear that shit, you're just like I could listen to this beat all day
right.
by the millions. Like he's
Because
got millions of them.
facts. That lives in my top two actually. My top one is Dilla.
I feel that. I can't
Yeah,
be
I'm
mad at
I'm
that.
I'm Team Dilla all the way, but still Madlib. I have my phases where I prefer one over the other.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. Dilla was a real scientist with this shit, and shout out to all the other real scientists who were doing it. But yeah, I think everybody will tell you the same thing that like Dilla inspired everybody.
Facts. Even if they don't want to admit it, they really did inspire him in like one way, like
Yeah,
indirectly. You know
come
what I
on.
mean?
Nah, yeah, that's a fact. Um, yeah, nah, absolutely. What? Oh wait, so who's the fourth one then?
Fourth one now. Yeah, yeah. I kind of wanted to talk about Doom before I got to the fourth
Oh
one
no,
because
go
I
ahead,
won't
bro.
lie,
Please, we
I'm
can
still I'm still thinking about it.
go ahead, man. We can talk about Doom forever. Let's go.
Nah, facts. Because the thing with Doom is, obviously his rhymes they've been what's it called, dissected to fuck by now for good reason. For good reason.
For sure.
Yeah, and like obviously he's one of the, if not the greatest to ever do it on the mic, bro. But with the beats, him using like 80s hip hop breaks over jazz fusion samples, that shit is so genius to me.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's like, because the thing with him is, and like how he came up, it makes sense for him to be using like those types of breaks over the types of samples that he used, but it just made for like a crazy combination. Like Hi John, that's probably like my favorite beat from him, if not like one of my favorite beats of all time. Just like, because it sounds so current, but like the way he laid it down, like you could tell that it was kind of inspired by like 80s hip hop with like the drums that he used and stuff because he was using like the 808 sounds and shit.
I'm trying to think how that beat sounds like by the title. I can't remember.
It was that shit.
Man, shit.
Yeah, no,
I
it
got
was
I got all these joints
I'm
on
not
like
gonna say what the sample is,
right, right.
but
Oh no, no, hell no, we're not doing it. But no, I feel you. I definitely know. I've heard every Special Herbs 20 million times. I just don't know them by name because I just run them. But you're
yeah,
right though, man.
it was on 7 and 8.
7 and 8. Okay, all right. I'm gonna run that in a second. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put it on my phone real quick.
Bet that's
Oh,
probably my favorite volume, all things considered.
for real. Yeah, man. I mean, he was going crazy with the MPC as well, and I guess he had like some he was doing some SP stuff as well. I think.
Yeah, because there was this one interview I found because I was going through I go through Equipboard sometimes and I saw that he used the 404 at one point, and it was like a Stone's Throw magazine interview, and he was saying that like Madlib gave him a, not Madlib, I think it was somebody at Stone's Throw gave him a 404, and he was saying how it was like the 303s. But yo, what's crazy? I remember reading Dilla Time, and I remember I think Dan Charnas said that Peanut Butter Wolf actually gave Dilla a 404 while he was in the hospital.
Damn.
Yeah. No, it's just cool little trivia like that. But yeah, no, he was using like a 404, definitely. I just don't know if or when.
That's why I got to get the fucking Peanut Butter Wolf for the Madlib interview. One
No,
of these
right.
days, God willing,
Shout
we
out
go.
to
You
shout out to
mean
the both of them. Rest in peace, Charisma too. Fuck.
absolutely, absolutely, man. Yeah, shout out to the golden years of Stone's Throw.
Yeah. I
You know,
mean, like the pop stuff that comes out now is cool, but it just feels weird,
yeah, I got
because they
thoughts.
started out as a hip hop label, but that's another
That's
discussion for another day.
yeah, yes it is, yes it is. But now it's some real shit. And so you said it was Madlib, Dilla, and Doom.
And as for the fourth one, I have two names in mind. It's like I won't lie, it's a tie between Havoc and Pete. I know they're really basic picks, but at the same time, it's just like I don't know who else to pick because
They're
you know
basic picks for a reason.
right, right, and plus it's just that. I'm literally inspired by every single person that I listen to.
Real.
Yeah. So Havoc, because Havoc was probably like my favorite, beat maker producer for a while until I really got into Dilla. And he's still up there for me just because of how, obviously his not only ear for doing shit, but the way he did shit.
Yeah.
One of the first times I heard like a Bollywood sample flip was through Havoc. It was the one Capone Noriega joint. It was the Illegal Life. He did that shit with the Tragedy Gaddafi, I think.
Oh shit. I never really
Yeah,
thought about that.
yeah, that's a Bollywood sample.
Whoa. Oh, I gotta run that back.
Yeah, no, it's such a crazy beat, and like, there's a crazy bass line in that shit too. It aged really well.
You know what? I need to do more of like a Havoc deep dive. Excuse me, because like I love Mob Deep. Everybody loves Mob Deep. Um,
Right,
but sometimes I feel like when I'm listening to Mob Deep, it's just like you said with Doom. Like the raps are just so heavily at the forefront. Um, and it's easy to just get lost in the raps. I mean, they're rapping so, but like Have was going so crazy on those beats.
not right. I think what's it called? Because obviously, Hell on Earth, the infamous, everybody loves those beats. He had some underrated beats on Thug Music, if I remember correctly.
Hell
But
yeah,
I feel like the beats that he did on there, they get outshined because Al had his first beats or like first major placements on there.
yeah. Shouts out to the Alchemist.
All right, you know, I think Al would be like another contender for me because it's just like he, I don't know, because he just has a sound.
He has a sound and he never stops, bro. Like every year there's like 10 new Alchemist albums and they're fire.
Right, right. I'll be honest, like I haven't really bumped Al as much recently, but at the same time, like I do go through some of the new shit. Like I went through the new rock shit, or not
Yeah.
new, but the most recent rock shit that he did not too long ago, and all those beats were tough.
Beats were tough, man. I love the Larry June shit. Everybody loves to hate on Larry June. I just don't
Bro,
understand it.
Larry June is tough. I don't care what anybody says.
People love to hate Larry June, and it's just so silly to me because it's like, man, all he's doing is talking about smoothies and fucking getting money. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly, he's just
taking a nice
flexing.
girl on a date. Like he's like a regular guy, and the shit be sounding real cool. You could just like drive around and smoke weed to it. I don't know.
Exactly.
Some
I
people hate
remember
fun.
somebody described it. It was like one of those corny ass labels. It was like lifestyle rap or some shit, but it's just
Yeah, I mean, I hate labels in general, but I guess that's what you could call it. It's like an extension of like currency type shit.
yeah, no, Currency's the goat too. I've been like that was one of the first like I guess underground rappers I ever really got into.
Yeah,
And he's
currency's a
not even
legend.
underground like that because he has mainstream reach to me at least.
Yeah, he got mainstream respect. People know.
Yeah,
And
Wiz Khalifa and shit.
right,
But yeah,
right. Multiple
but yeah,
albums.
it's crazy.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. That's a good five-headed Mount Rushmore. I'm not mad at that at all. And
Yeah,
oh yeah, and of course shout out to Pete Rock always.
yeah, no, because since we brought Pete up, obviously I have to talk. I'm gonna talk about his techniques a bit. What
Go
I've
in.
noticed, real brief though,
No,
real
go
brief.
ahead.
Fucking because obviously the wah filter that he would do, that's like a technique everybody knows. But I've just been thinking about it so much recently because him and Dilla, they used to do that shit all the time, and they would get some crazy like. Were they using an external pedal for that shit? Because I've been thinking about it.
Huh. I have no idea. I mean, I guess you have a wah effect in or I don't know if there's one in the old MP.
Yeah, no, I'm not too sure because I'm not too well versed in the old MPs like that. But I remember I was going through like some of the old NPC forums, and they were saying that he might have used like an external pedal to get
Probably.
like the resonance that he got out of it.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
probably
there's
shit.
this, yeah, my bad.
Oh no, I was just saying probably like, they had a whole studio. They probably had all kinds of shit up in there.
Right, right. And there's that, and there's this one Dilla beat from like 98 where it was like some crazy. He had like a crazy wall filter going on. I don't know how he achieved that because it was going all over the place, but at the same time, it just sounded like it was supposed to be there.
Mm.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And obviously, I think when it comes to samples, like and sample selection in general, I think Pete and like Madlib probably, or no, Doom too, because literally all of them like inspired my sample selection to some degree,
Yeah, that's the most important part.
right? I think with Doom especially because he sampled a lot of shit with like ninth chords and stuff. It's like that real dreamy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that, and like I'm gonna go on a side tangent real quick
Go
because it's
crazy,
like
bro. Go ahead.
yeah, because it's like fucking. Because I notice people. This is about Tyler, by the way. Because I notice people always say, Tyler's Pharrell influence is real strong, but I feel like his Doom influence is just as, if not even more strong. Just like
Interesting.
based on the type of drums he does and like the type of chords he lays down. It's Doom coded to me.
I can see that.
Yeah, because it's like because Tyler does like the off kilter drums, or like he started doing the off kilter drums like in the 2010s and shit. Or like before then, because he has eras to his shit, of course. But when he started doing them and like putting those chords over them, it just really reminded me of Doom. Because Doom obviously he had those samples and he had those beats where they would just go off beat, but then they would just like gradually come back on beat. Like
Right.
Safed Musli,
Right.
that's the yeah, Safed Musli. I think there's a few other examples that I can't really think of, but obviously Doom does like the stuttery snare and shit every now and then. That's like the main thing that I think about when it comes to Tyler shit.
Yeah, Tyler's dope, man. Production wise, also a little undersung, if you ask me. I don't really listen to as much of his newer stuff. I loved Odd Future, and like I really respect what he does, but
Right.
I kind of fell
Yeah,
off.
no.
I like Igor a lot, but I just didn't go back to it as much. I just feel like there's so much music. Like something has to be the absolute favorite. It has to be my very, very, very favorite shit I've ever heard for me to like keep listening to it.
Right.
You know, but
Yeah, no. I
it's working
think
for him.
Tyler and Earl are definitely underrated as producers, especially Earl, because it's
Yeah,
like, but he's done so much shit for like mock and stuff that just goes not under the radar, but it doesn't get talked about enough.
it doesn't. And you know what?
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to do this type of shit because, you know, people do appreciate beats. Like, we all love Earl Sweatshirt's raps. We all love, all these rappers and shit. But there's people out here that love beats. You very clearly love beats, You like pay attention to this shit. And there's people like you and people like me out there who like, you know what I mean? They resonate with this shit. It means something.
I, I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Of course. Um, before I get all the way to the end of these joints, I like to ask or say if you want to just shout anybody out, the collective homies, anybody you've been listening to, anybody you're like working with, whatever, just anybody you want to shout out, you know what I mean? Go crazy. You got the floor.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna be here for a while.
Let's
No,
go.
I'm playing. But yeah, no, fuck. Okay, shout out to the homie Nat. If it weren't for her, I would not be making shit the way that I do right now. Shout out to you. Obviously, shout out to like all the collective guys. RIT, Churro, Lamo, ML4. Shout out to all of you. All of y'all are talented as shit. Shout out to Samantha. You're insane. By the way, you gotta teach me the fucking Ableton method that you were talking about. Fuck, shout out to everybody in the one server. In the one server. Y'all know who you are. Is a air raid server. Yeah, all of y'all are dope as fuck. Shout out to Advanced, obviously. That's the day one right there. Lexile, of course, shout out to you. Fucking Neved, shout out to you too. Man. I mean, shout out to my mom and dad, I guess, because if it weren't for them, my trajectory for music would be, way different than it is now.
Damn
So
right.
shout out to all the OGs. Obviously, shout out to DB too. That's like one of my biggest inspirations, bro. Shout out to DB. Shout out to Oxygen ACL. That's where I did my first show at, or not first show, but first set. Fuck, man. Shout out to you, Q. Thank you for having me on here once again. You
Hell
know,
yeah.
man, man. I'm trying to think. There's so many names, man. Fuck. But shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody I've listened to, everybody that I've continued. I'll continue to listen to. Shout out to everybody who's been tapped into like. Shout out to anybody who's been tapped in. Everybody who's been tapped into like whether you found out about me through the curation shit or through my music or fucking both. Regardless, shout out to you. And
Real.
yeah, that's about it.
That's real, man. That's super real. Thank you. Like I really appreciate you pulling up and conversing and talking about beat making and stuff like that cuz I just I knew I had to have you on cuz I could tell you take this shit seriously and you got a real passion for this shit. And I didn't know you were 19 years old. So, you know what? Keep going and by the time when you keep going and shit, you're going to be like one of them ones, bro. You're young, you got the whole world ahead of you. And that's super fire. Thank you again, man. I appreciate you stopping by. Seriously.
Thank you, bro. Thank you once again for having me. And it's funny that you bring up the 19 shit because my birthday's next month, actually.
No way.
Yeah, I'm a December baby.
Well, shit. Happy early birthday, man. And you know, to many more. And then to everybody listening, I appreciate you all very much. This shit should be live on some sort of streaming platform real soon. So yeah, appreciate y'all's continued support. And everybody make sure that you get home safely and that you hug your loved ones. And we up out this joint.
Facts. Take it easy, y'all.
Type
Thank you, bro.
shit.
Once again.
Anytime, brother. Peace.